There's a certain kind of quiet that only exists when you're home. Not the quiet of boredom, not the type that feels hollow, but the quiet that feels like comfort. It's that moment when you hear the low hum of the refrigerator, the gentle ticking of a clock, and realize that, for once, no one needs you anywhere else. It's not loneliness, it's peace. Most people don't understand that. They look at someone who prefers being home and assume they're antisocial, withdrawn, maybe even scared of the world. But for some, home isn't an escape from life. It's the only place where they can actually breathe. Because out there, in the noise of constant comparison, pressure, and performance, they lose pieces of themselves. At home, they gather them back. Maybe it began when they were younger. The classroom, the bus, the crowded spaces, environments full of chaos and noise. For some, those places felt like survival arenas. You had to speak louder to be noticed, pretend more to fit in, smile wider to seem fine. So they built an inner world instead. One softer, slower, more forgiving. That's when home became more than four walls. It became a sanctuary. Psychologists say people who love staying home often have heightened sensitivity to stimuli. Their minds process the world more intensely. Bright lights, loud conversations, too much activity can feel overwhelming. So the quiet of home isn't avoidance, it's balance. It's the nervous system whispering, "Here, I can rest." But it's not only about overstimulation. There's something deeper, almost spiritual. Home is the one place where the mask comes off. The social version of you, the one who smiles on cue, knows what to say, when to laugh, how to fit in, finally dissolves when the door closes. And what remains? The raw, unfiltered self that doesn't have to impress anyone. The self that simply is.
It's strange, isn't it? You can be surrounded by people all day and still feel unseen. But the moment you're home, sitting by a window with tea, you finally feel visible to yourself. That's the quiet magic of solitude. It's not isolation, it's intimacy, but with your own soul. We live in a culture that romanticizes extroversion. We admire those constantly busy, constantly doing, posting, performing. We treat stillness like laziness and silence like something suspicious. Yet there's a quiet strength in people who can be alone without feeling lonely, because they've learned that fulfillment isn't always found in noise. Sometimes it's hidden in the pauses. There's an old saying, if you don't go within, you go without. For people who love staying home, going within isn't running away, it's realignment. It's how they process emotions, recover from overwhelm, reconnect with what matters. Think about it. When you're surrounded by people non-stop, your identity begins to split into 100 tiny versions. You become someone different for each audience. But at home, there's only one audience that counts: you. Of course, solitude is not the same as withdrawal. Even the most introverted hearts need connection. But here's the paradox. People who love staying home often form deeper bonds, not shallower ones, because they don't waste energy on surface-level interactions. They want the kind of connection where silence is comfortable, where presence matters more than performance. When psychologists study solitude, they find something fascinating. People who spend intentional time alone tend to score higher in creativity and emotional intelligence. Not because they're smarter, but because they reflect. They sit with their feelings instead of drowning in them. They examine their thoughts instead of hiding from them. In that stillness, ideas come, clarity appears, and old wounds slowly heal. Think about your biggest realizations. They probably didn't happen in a loud cafe or at a crowded party. They came during a quiet walk, late at night in your room or in the shower. That's the hidden power of staying home. It gives your mind enough silence to speak. Yet many homebodies carry secret guilt. They worry they're missing out, that life is happening somewhere else. Social media intensifies that fear. Endless photos of outings and celebrations make homebodies feel wrong for wanting stillness. But the truth is, those highlight reels don't show the whole story. Everyone is chasing peace. Some just find it in quieter places. There's something deeply human about needing a sanctuary, a place to pause, reset, breathe. In ancient times, monks went to mountains or caves. Today, people retreat into bedrooms, cozy corners, tiny apartments filled with soft lights and music. The impulse is the same, returning to stillness after chaos. Home is simply the modern temple.
And there's science behind it. At home, you're in what researchers call a low-threat environment. Your body stops producing so much cortisol. That's why your thoughts feel clearer and why emotions surface more easily. Your guard drops. Everything you've been holding inside finally rises. It's healing disguised as quiet. But not everyone understands this. Some will say, "You should get out more," or "You're wasting your youth." They don't realize that staying home doesn't mean doing nothing. Often, the most meaningful growth happens there. Reading, reflecting, journaling, dreaming. Quiet revolutions behind closed doors. People who love staying home aren't avoiding the world. They're preparing for it. They're recharging, rebuilding, returning stronger. When they do go out, they carry calm, not chaos. There's also comfort in routine. The brain loves predictability. It reduces anxiety. Knowing where everything is, having rituals, the morning coffee, the familiar lighting, the soft blanket, all signal safety to the nervous system. For someone who loves staying home, these rituals aren't monotony, they're regulation.
Yet, in a world obsessed with productivity, stillness feels rebellious. We're taught to always be visible, always active, always achieving. But people who love being home quietly challenge that belief. They show that meaning doesn't always come from motion. Sometimes it rises from stillness, from noticing small things like rain tapping against a window, or sunlight sliding across the wall. And maybe that's why homebodies often have rich inner worlds. Enough solitude makes imagination bloom. Ordinary things turn poetic, dust floating in sunlight, distant laughter, shadows shifting on the floor. It's a slower happiness, one that doesn't need to be posted or praised. Some people will never understand that kind of contentment. To them, silence feels heavy. Solitude feels like punishment. But for those who love being home, silence is music. It's the sound of being enough. There's a beautiful paradox about homebodies. They're often labeled distant or detached, but in truth, they feel everything intensely. Every conversation, every tone, every gesture leaves an imprint. When the world gets loud, they don't withdraw out of fear. They retreat out of self-preservation. It's not avoidance, it's care.
The tone about someone from their space. Some homes glow with plants and bright light. Others feel warm and dim with candles and soft blankets. Each home becomes a reflection of the person inside. The quiet ones build warmth. The dreamers build comfort. The thinkers build order. And within those walls, they create inner worlds no one ever sees. Studies on solitude and creativity reveal something profound. People who spend time alone often show higher originality, empathy, and imagination. Solitude lets them hear their inner voice without interruption or judgment. When you're constantly around others, your thoughts start adapting to external expectations. But alone, your mind returns to its natural language. That's where true creativity begins. Think of great artists and thinkers. Many cherished solitude, not because they disliked people, but because they needed space to think and feel deeply. Virginia Woolf said, "A writer needs a room of their own." But truly, everyone does. We all need space, literal or metaphorical, to understand ourselves. People who love staying home don't rely on the outside world to define them. They don't need noise to feel alive or validation to feel worthy. When you spend time with yourself, you stop chasing applause. You start building peace, a quiet, steady peace that no one can take away. Still, solitude can be uncomfortable. When distractions fade, thoughts get louder. Not everyone can sit with that, but those who do learn something powerful. Peace isn't the absence of thought, it's acceptance of it. They watch their emotions come and go without running. That's emotional maturity. Psychology tells us that comfort with solitude is a strong indicator of self-awareness. People who enjoy their own company often have a more stable sense of identity. They're less swayed by trends or pressure, and more guided by inner values. When you spend enough time in silence, you can finally distinguish your own voice from everyone else's. That's how wisdom grows. Of course, homebodies get lonely too, but their loneliness is deeper. It's not emptiness, it's longing for connection that feels genuine. They'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who make them feel invisible. That's not arrogance, that's discernment. And when they find the right people, they love fully, quietly, intentionally. But there's another truth. Some people fall in love with home not because they're peaceful, but because they're exhausted. Exhausted from being misunderstood, from performing, from being versions of themselves that don't feel authentic. For them, home is recovery.
Psychologists call it emotional decompression. That moment when you walk in the door and feel the need to collapse, that's your body finally exhaling. That's healing, not laziness. People who love staying home are often highly empathetic. They absorb emotions, read energy, notice subtleties others miss. It's a gift, and tiring, so they retreat to restore themselves. That restoration is why they return kinder, calmer, clearer. Some people are wired for movement, chatter, activity. Others are wired for introspection, rhythm, stillness. Neither is better. They're simply different expressions of being human. But because the world praises motion, the quieter ones often feel flawed when they're not. In reality, they're just tuned to a different frequency.
The world needs both, the ones who chase and the ones who reflect. The noisemakers and the meaning seekers. Often it's the quiet ones who help the world understand itself. They translate chaos into clarity, noise into insight. That's why many creators and thinkers feel most alive at home. They aren't escaping the world, they're experiencing it more deeply. Even for those who aren't artists, the psychology remains the same. Home is where we process life, where we sort through the emotions we couldn't express outside, where we return to ourselves after being too many versions for too long. That return is a basic human need, a homecoming of the soul. Some find that in people, others find it in silence, warm light, and 4 familiar walls. It takes courage to choose stillness in a world addicted to spectacle, to choose depth instead of noise. But in that stillness, authenticity returns. You begin to live not to impress, but to express. Not to chase noise, but to hear meaning. And suddenly, what once felt like confinement begins to feel like freedom. That is the quiet psychology of people who love staying home. They're not avoiding life. They're embracing it differently, at their own pace, in their own rhythm. They're noticing more, feeling more, understanding more. They're creating a version of the world that feels humane, a world where the heart gets to breathe. And when they finally step outside, they bring something rare, calm energy. They don't add to the noise. They bring stillness, like a gift. Because once you find peace in solitude, you stop seeking it in chaos. You stop expecting others to make you feel at home. You start carrying home within yourself. So if you're someone who loves being home, don't apologize. Don't let the world convince you that stillness is a waste or that peace is unproductive. You're not missing out. You're tuning in. You're doing the inner work most people avoid. And that quiet work shapes everything else. When the world feels uncertain, when people are searching for meaning, it's often the quiet ones who've already found it. In the gentle rhythm of ordinary days, in soft morning light, in evening rain, in the sound of your own breathing, in a room that finally feels like yours. The home isn't just a place, it's peace earned. A sanctuary built from authenticity and presence. It's where you meet yourself again and again until you realize you were never truly alone. You were simply returning to yourself.
Sometimes people assume staying home means you've given up on life. But often it means you've stopped running from yourself. There's a quiet relief in no longer chasing every plan, every invitation, every trend that promises joy but delivers exhaustion. You learn that joy doesn't always need witnesses, that the best moments happen in silence. Rain against a window, something warm in the oven, the way afternoon light touches the floor. You start seeing details you used to overlook, the way your heartbeat steadies when the world outside grows distant, the satisfaction of doing things at your own pace. It's not isolation, it's a reunion with your own mind. And still, the guilt lingers, because we live in a world where being seen equals being alive. If you're not out, not posting, not participating, people assume you're fading. But maybe fading from their eyes is how you come back into focus for yourself. Maybe quiet living isn't about disappearing. It's about finally existing without performance. At home, you realize solitude isn't the absence of connection. It's what makes real connection possible. You understand that not every friendship needs daily updates. Not every dream needs an audience. Not every day needs to be productive. There's beauty in the invisible life, in progress only you notice, in moments no one claps for. People who love staying home aren't running from life. They're walking toward it slowly, intentionally, without noise. They're rediscovering what it means to simply be, not to impress, not to achieve, but to feel. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is nothing. Just sit quietly in your own company and realize that finally you are enough.